This is Jordan Tower with JT News. On the death of a dynasty, okay? And now we're going to attack G-Unit. This is another hip-hop dynasty. G-Unit. Huge. Untouchable at one point. And they crumbled. So, where did it go wrong?
First, Game and 50 Cent clashing. To me, that was the start of G-Unit.
Yes, I agree.
Decline?
Yeah. If you want to say
weakness,
decline,
right?
Yeah. I would say friction. The G-Unit friction within inside the camp.
Yeah.
You know, because you got 50 Cent, and then, you know, of course, he's like the boss, the head honcho of G-Unit.
Yeah.
Then you got Game, who really isn't part of the group, but
he was never signed to G-Unit. He was just part of the crew. He was actually signed to Geffen, which is why, remember the whole G-U-Not campaign that they had?
Exactly.
He was able to get away because he wasn't technically signed to G-Unit. G-Unit made money off of him.
Of course.
But he wasn't, the contract was with Geffen.
50 Cent allegedly or supposedly got 25% of Game's royalties, or
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, supposedly. That's
what 50 preaches, right?
Yeah, that's what 50 said.
And Game never refutes that, so it might be true.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it started with 50 and Game, and then you got Young Buck, who wasn't really the original G-Unit member.
Yeah.
Him and 50 went at it.
He became G-Unit. He was running with Juvenile's crew.
Yeah.
We're trying to remember what they're called. They had their names on their knuckles. It started with
Whoa, spooky!
I forgot the name of the
It starts with a U, like U-turn or U something.
Did you
anyway,
say they had the logo on their nipples?
He was with them in L.A. and something happened and they left without him and he got stranded. And 50 Cent sent him home, brought him home. So he was able to not be stranded anymore. And that was when he jumped from the Cash Money world into the G-Unit world.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Shout out to Young Buck. I love him.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what happened was Game was the start of breaking the camel's back. You know, he took Nas's side. He didn't want, because remember 50 was having a problem with Nas at the time. Game wasn't going to get into that problem with Nas. Yeah. But Nas was the real problem. I remember Game called Nas live on the air on MTV, if I'm not mistaken, and that's what really started. 50 was like, whoa, 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 I'm having problems with this guy. Don't show alliances with him. You rep G-Unit. It looks bad, you know?
Yeah, he was big. He was and is big on the loyalty thing. If he had beef, everybody had beef.
And then remember the fake conference where they like almost kissed each other on the cheek or some shit? Like, remember that conference? Remember that? No.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had like a public conference to try to dead the issues, to try to save and rectify everything.
A press conference.
When did the rap music industry become WWE?
But back during the Queensbridge days with KRS-One.
Is that it? Okay.
The bridge is over?
It just seems so comical and so fake. Like, I remember when, you know, like when stuff happens, it seems so real, but talking about it now, I almost feel foolish.
Nah, I think
it.
Maybe late 90s. No, I say early 2000 because even in the late 90s.
But what about KRS-One and Molly Mall and all them?
Nah, that was real. That
was real.
That was real, but that's like the beginning of it, and then it got more like a movie.
Beginning of beef.
Nah, she's talking about real like situations not becoming real. Like it was beef. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna rap about it on record and then we gonna take
sensationalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soap opera-y.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, let's do this and it'll increase album sales type of shit.
Yeah.
You gotta think when beef was on, you got people like Q-Tip. He got Rex in Effect put hands on Q-Tip. I think they broke his nose. That's why in Hot Sex in the Platter he wore that thing on his face and he was like in the silhouette of the movie.
I think he lost some of his hearing.
Yeah, it was real, like
from that beat down, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, that was a personal friend of yours, right, Wendy?
Who?
Q-Tip.
No.
Oh, I thought you guys were friends.
No.
Oh.
I like him. He's cool.
There was a lot of stuff happening.
Assalamu alaikum.
No,
we're not.
I always heard that, like, you guys used to hang out or something, or like you guys like you helped him with a label. I don't know.
His house burned down and he lost his record collection.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I ran a drive to get him.
That's what it was. It was some story with you and Q. That's why I thought you guys were like close friends, because I saw some story. Okay, so then what happened was Young Buck started. He had a problem with 50 and started yelling out "FG Unit," and then 50 kind of like distanced himself from him.
I think he may have had a drug issue at that time.
Right.
I'm not sure.
And then
I would have to ask him.
Then Young Buck called up and like cried on the phone, and he didn't know he was being recorded.
Hence the drug issue.
Yeah. Hot and cold. And then
it's a Molly world.
50 being ruthless leaked the audio because he was just being disrespected on stage with the FG Unit campaign, and said, "Okay, well, I'm going to embarrass you now." And he embarrassed
him. I think he told him not to say that, and I think Young Buck didn't heed the warning a couple of times, because Buck knew about the recording and he knew that if he didn't stop, it would get leaked.
50 records all of his conversations, right?
That I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he does. He's smart like that. He's like, because like, think about it, that's legally binding. Some of those conversations.
And wasn't Young Buck managed by Shaw, who was running G Unit at the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was everybody's manager. Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo.
That's another problem. You can't take on more than you can handle. I think some people felt left out because they weren't getting enough attention from their management.
Right.
That's why Young Money works out better, because they have Cortez, but then they have special people dedicated to each artist.
Definitely.
Which helps.
I see.
Okay, so then what happened with that? Okay, then Olivia left. Just things, and then he was trying to replicate success. He had Hot Rod, who he tried to make hot, and that didn't work. And once things start not working at a label where you think is like, unstoppable, it shows weakness, and people start to go to the next movement. Oh, and then he had that problem with Cameron, and he didn't.
That definitely hurt the movement. The problem with Cameron.
Yeah, with Dipset.
And Rick Ross. Remember, he went after Rick Ross.
But that's later. That came later.
It didn't crush him. It didn't crush him, and that may be the first person that he had beef with that didn't buckle under the pressure.
I would say Cameron was the first person. Cameron set the precedent. Like, I'm gonna keep coming at you, and I'm in New York. What? You ain't gonna do nothing.
The Cameron thing was so deep. A lot of people don't pay attention, but remember, Cameron clowned him about his teeth. 50 having buck teeth. So right after that, 50 fixed his teeth, and then right after, and he also clowned him about doing videos in his house. So after that, 50 tried to sell his house, fixed his teeth. There's a lot of that Cameron beef really bothered him, because Cameron clowned him.
Yeah.
In a beef, usually the person who wins is the person who got out-clowned the other person.
True.
So, Cameron clowned 50, which he wasn't used to that, and and he clowned him about things I guess he was insecure about, like very insecure about. Okay. And 50 turned around and fixed some of the things that he was getting clowned about, or tried to fix some of the things. You know what I'm saying? So that Cameron beef was definitely like one of those beefs that really bothered him.
So the moral of this story is, don't show weakness within your crew. If you're having problems within your crew, and this goes for most of these problems, keep it internal. Because once you start going to the public looks at your brand differently.
Yeah, but it's so hard when money gets involved, and then you got to think. Lloyd Banks got his own guys. Tony Yayo got his own guys.
But business is about discipline. Good business is about discipline.
Yeah, but we talking about people who never had money.
I know. No, I'm not saying let's come up with excuses. Let's just say let's just break it down.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. But it's going to be another story just like this.
Of
know
course.
What I'm saying? From like 2016, whoever's the hot click at the time, they're gonna come in. They all boys, but when that money come and the fame, you know how it goes.
It's all different.
It gets different.
Yeah.
Hey, 50's killing it with Power, right?
Oh yes.
Yes. Salute to him, and with the F and
vodka.
vodka.
BMF story.
Yeah. 50's going in a different direction. This is the second part.
He's building a film and TV dynasty. I think
this
that's
the
awesome.
second part of his career. So and it's looking good.
Yeah.
And he's been working hard at the films. He's been doing it for like 5 years, just learning the business.
I think longer than that.
Yeah, 7 years.
I think Get Rich or Die Trying came out when?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
2003? It came out right when his album came out.
Yeah, you're right.
He's been doing film for about 13 years.
Good for him.
Yeah. He's a vet.
Word.
In the film world.